But I'm having my own fun here in the kitchen. I'm joined with Chef Richard from Dick and Jenny's, and we are going to be making a blackened salmon today. And you also said that we have a couple sides to go with it.
We're going to put on top of the salmon barbecued shrimp, and it's going to go over a crab green onion grits.
All right, perfect. So what ingredients do we need for this dish?
Well, for the grits we'll start with, we got some milk and a little bit of butter in a pot, some crab meat, green onions, and the grits, of course. For the barbecued shrimp, we got red onion, butter, shrimp, and my secret barbecued shrimp mix. And then we'll finish with the salmon, blackening spice, right in the cast iron pan.
All right, you said secret ingredient, so I'm guessing you're not going to give away everything that's inside that little sauce there.
You can't give away everything.
All right, I guess I'll have to live with that. So in terms of the grits, how difficult are they to make?
Easy to make. It's no more difficult than making a pot of oatmeal.
All right, perfect. And so why did you choose this dish? Is it a good one to have in the summer?
It is. People like, because it's seafood week here. In the summer, people eat a lot more seafood. So we try to put things on the menu that go. We kind of do a New Orleans kind of fare there, so this is kind of like a combination of some southern style cooking, but also featuring some fish from the local area.
All right, perfect. So it is local fish. Mm-hmm. All right, awesome. Well, we'll have much more on this coming up. We're going to start cooking in just a little bit, but for now, we're going to send things on over to Emily Lenahan with your .com check. It is Under the Sea Week, and I am in the kitchen right now with Chef Richard from Dick and Jenny's. And in honor of Under the Sea Week, of course, we're making fish, blackened salmon to be exact. And we are going to get started on our grits, right?
We're going to get started on our grits. So we got our pot of, it's a milk and a little bit of butter and a little bit of salt and simmering. So I'm going to have you help me.
Okay.
Why don't you put in a big handful of green onions.
Hopefully you don't mind that I'm touching this stuff.
Oh, it's cooking anyway. It's all right.
Okay.
All right, and then you can dump in that crab meat there.
So not all grits have crab meat, right?
Oh, no. Grits, are like a blank canvas. You can do anything with grits. You make cheese grits, bacon grits, plain grits. So now that we got our grits going, now the key, I'll stir, and you just kind of pour them in easy. There you go. You can go faster. And I'll stir. And these will take about 15 minutes to get good and creamy.
So kind of get started on the grits first, it sounds like, then.
Yeah, the grits take the longest, so it's good to get those started. And just pour them all in there. Perfect. And we'll just turn that heat down a little bit.
So what do you have the heat at there?
Oh, I got it on low. You want to
Low.
just cook it on low, and they'll just, it looks real watery now, but as they cook, it thickens up.
Okay.
And if it gets a little too thick, you can always add a little more milk.
All right.
To thin it out.
So it's an easy fix if you feel
it's
like
an
you
easy
started
fix.
to mess it up.
If you screw it up, you can either thin it out, thicken it up, But if you keep thinning it out, you just get more grits and more grits. But extra grits is always good.
So do you need to have somebody stirring it the whole time, or you can kind of?
Well, it's going to start to bubble. So yeah, you just stir it every once in a while, kind of like when you make oatmeal, just so it doesn't it'll thicken more towards the bottom of the pot.
I don't know if I should admit this to you, but I think I've only made instant oatmeal.
No, well,
I'm missing out.
What can you do? Okay, so now we're going to get our salmon going. I'm going to turn the heat up. So you can just, well, I do this because you got a white coat on. I don't want you to get, we're going to just put some blackening season on the salmon.
Perfect. And we're going to wait to cook that until after we come back from break. And when we come back for the hot sauce, we'll be joined by our friends from the Red Cross with some important water safety tips. And we'll also head back out to Darien Lake to catch up with Matt. He's having some fun out at the cabins there. But for now, here's our one more fun fish fact. How much fun? I don't know. What sea creature would you be?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe a seal or something?
Oh, a seal would be good. Otter would be great.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so our grits are they about done here? Or?
They're about done, so we're going to just keep them warm here. So it's time to start our fish.
Awesome.
So the pan should be about hot now. So we're going to just put a little bit of butter in there.
Everything's butter with butter, right?
Oh, butter's good. Trying to get that swirled around.
And while we're kind of working on the fish here, tell us a little bit about what's going on at Dick and Jenny's.
Well, Dick and Jenny's, we got our summer patios open. We got music outside 3 nights a week. We still have our ragtime piano man on Thursday nights. And we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner 5 days a week.
And you guys are located?
We're located on Grand Island at the corner of Love and Baseline. It's the old Dell and Herbst building. It's a 150-year-old farmhouse. It's been a kind of like a dance hall, a restaurant, a little theater or something way back when. So the building's got a lot of history. It's got
Great
a lot of
atmosphere, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a neat old building. It's got a lot of ghosts in it for sure.
No, it's not haunted though, right?
Oh, sometimes I think it's
for...
haunted. Sometimes, you know, something will come crashing down, and I'm the only one there, and I'm wondering what's going on.
We feel like that sometimes late at night here. No, I'm just joking. So we've got the salmon.
The salmon's starting, so these only take a couple minutes to cook, so we might as well start our shrimp too.
Okay.
And then we're going to put it all together. So for the barbecue shrimp, we're going to throw a little bit of red onion in. And this is just kind of our variation of barbecue shrimp. Like if you go down to Louisiana and you go to Pascal Manali's, their barbecue shrimp is olive oil and garlic and seasonings and shrimp with like the heads on and the shells. But I've found up here that people really don't want to deal with peeling the shrimp. And up here,
too much work, right?
Well, it'd be hard to find anybody that really wants to like pinch the heads off, and you know.
Yeah.
So down there, they're more used to that kind of stuff. But up here, you got to kind of do some shortcuts so it's easier to eat.
Sounds good. I'm getting excited to see how you use the secret sauce too. Is that coming into play soon?
That's going to come into play.
And I noticed you seasoned the one side of the salmon. Is that pretty much typically all you do?
It's pretty strong. I mean, if you do both sides, it's going to might be a little overpowering, I find.
Okay.
So we're just going to do one side, and they're just about ready to turn. You see how they're kind of browning on the edge there?
Yeah.
So they're just about ready to turn. So we got our onions soft, so we're going to just put in our shrimp, and we got to just get those in there. And we're going to give them just a little bit of seasoning, of the dry seasoning. Get those started. Try to crank this stove up a little bit.
So is this something that people can find at the restaurant?
Actually, I made this up this morning because I was like, oh, Jennifer told me I'm doing this show, and I had to kind of come up with something on the fly. I don't have it on the menu, but if it looks good, I might put it on the menu for the week. We do specials each week that run for the week. We do a tasting menu where you can get like half portions of, it's a 3-course menu. And you can get it with or without 3 different wines for each course, or a wine for each course. So, I don't know if it sounds popular. If it tastes good, well, we'll try it. This is the first time I'm going to try it.
Well, it
so
looks
if
good.
it tastes good, maybe we'll put it on the menu for next week.
That sounds good. I always have problems trying to figure out when the fish is done.
Well, it depends on the fish. Like this salmon, you don't really want to have it cooked like all the way through because it just kind of falls apart. So it's been like a minute or so now. You can we'll just turn it off now. Once it's flipped, because it's going to carry over cook in that pan. So we're just going to turn it off, and it'll be perfect by the time the shrimp are done, the grits are done. I could have gotten this pan a little bit hotter, but that's okay. They'll cook.
And so what kind of heat temperature is good for the shrimp?
You want like medium to high. You know, and you just want to get them just cooked. You know, you ever have a real tough shrimp? They're not that good. So you just want to get them cooked through, and then you're finished with it.
So when they're pink, is that?
Yeah, when they're pink and they're firm to the touch, you're finished.
Perfect.
So we're going to put a little green onions in there.
And you kind of nonchalantly added that secret sauce without talking about it.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, it's got some garlic and some shallots and some chili paste and a little bit of onion powder and a little paprika. And it gives
and we're not going
some
to talk
color.
about everything, though, right, in it? Because they have to come to the restaurant to try the secret sauce?
Yeah. So once those shrimp are done, we can plate it up. Are you a big seafood eater?
You know, working the show, I'm becoming definitely more of a seafood eater.
Yeah.
I think maybe in the past I haven't had great chefs to cook for me, so
yeah,
that makes the difference, I feel.
My wife's family is up here, and we used to come up, when we had a restaurant in New Orleans, we'd come up every July, and then they want me to cook, you know. So I'd have to like go to Hayes Fish Market or whatever and see what there is, because Uncle PJ's like, well, you know, you should cook a nice, New Orleans seafood dinner. But all the uncles and aunts hate seafood, right? You know, they're all meat and potatoes people. And so I went down to the market, and there wasn't much at Hayes. I don't know, it was in July or something. There wasn't They didn't
They're
like
cutting us
salmon.
off. The music is going. We're going to hear the rest of the story.
Oh.
Can't wait to hear it in just a minute, but we're going to send it off to break for now. I am back in the kitchen with Chef Richard from Dick and Jenny's, and we are going to make our second helping. And go ahead and tell us what it is, and then we have to have you finish up your story.
Oh, okay. Well, if you ever have leftover grits, you'd notice, or oatmeal, you know how it gets real stiff in the fridge?
Right.
So what you can do with them is you can spread them out, and you can cut them into cakes. And so down south, a lot of times you can serve for brunch or lunch or something a grit cake that you can either bread and deep fry, or you can just fry off in a skillet. So I decided we're going to do some grit cakes over greens, and then we'll just put our leftover shrimp kind of as a little light lunch or salad.
Perfect. So how long will these take to cook in here?
Oh, just maybe 5 minutes. So you just got to brown on one side and brown on the other side, and they're done.
And what kind of dressing did you use here?
We just made our house-made just a light lemon vinaigrette with it.
Perfect. And so go ahead and finish that story you were telling about your family members who like the meat and potatoes.
Right, so I had to go get the fish, but there wasn't any great fish there, so I got some catfish. And Jennifer's like, don't tell them it's catfish. They won't eat it. They won't eat it. So we made, I was going to make a pecan-crusted fish with like a Creole Meunier sauce. So I'm making it, and I'm getting the fish in there, and, you know, this is a big family. You know, there's like 20 people. So every few minutes, somebody come by, and they'd be like, oh, hey, what kind of fish you got there? And I'd be like, oh, it's haddock, it's haddock. And they're like, oh, okay. And they'd mosey off and go get a cocktail or something. And then about like 5 or 6 uncles come by and the same thing. What kind of fish you got? Haddock, haddock. So after dinner, Jennifer finally told them that that it was catfish. And they're like, oh, well, I guess it was okay. But they would have never tried it if they knew it was catfish in the beginning. They're pretty funny.
Did they think it was excellent before you told them it was catfish?
Oh, yeah, they like the idea. Well, you know, if they're going to eat fish up here a lot of times, especially like, you know, traditionalists, you know, if it's haddock or walleye or perch, that's good. Anything else, they're not too sure about.
Well, we're going to go ahead and bring Amelia in. I know she's dying to give this a try.
It looks amazing.